claiming his role in the January 6th Capitol riot violated Section 3 of the 14th Amendment and disqualified him from office.
It's Anna Kuhn with Fox TV affiliate WPFO in Portland, Maine. This follows a similar move in Colorado.
So the Colorado State Supreme Court did. Bellows based her ruling on the section of the Constitution that was originally designed to keep former Confederates from holding office after the Civil War.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The Trump campaign promises a quick appeal. 2 people were hurt after a reported shooting at Parks Mall in Arlington, Texas.
This was not an active shooter incident, and this was an isolated incident.
Sergeant Courtney White with the Arlington Police Department. That shooter is still at large. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 7.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
Got to turn the mics up, don't I? That's the way it works, isn't it?
Usually, yes.
Are we on over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up. Anyway, good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
I'm Lee Barrows.
And TGIF.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
thank goodness it's Friday.
For those listening, Facebook, we're trying to go live. It's just taking its time. YouTube is live.
Oh, my.
Facebook is just sitting thinking about it.
Yeah, I was trying to follow some Facebook stuff last night, which is unusual for me in the first place, but it was tough to load.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing nothing. Well, last day of the year for us on the air here anyway.
Yes.
So after 9:00 tonight, we'll see you next year. We are off on Monday.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm very glad to hear that.
I'm sleeping in.
Same.
I'm not.
I say that, but during Christmas weekend, I was up 5, 6 o'clock every morning.
Yeah, that's the way it works. Just it automatically happens. I'd slept in one day during the Christmas weekend. Forgot what it was. Must have been Sunday. Yeah, and I just got up early, but then I went back to bed. And I slept until about 8:30 or so. Wow.
That's nice.
This is a weird one. I don't know any real details yet, but an investigation is underway after the Swansboro police responded to a shooting call. Assistant Emerald Isle Police Chief Donnie Askew was shot in the chest in Swansboro.
Oh, my.
The 63-year-old Askew was found in his yard about 10 o'clock Tuesday by a neighbor. He was unconscious and was first transported to Naval's Trauma Center, stabilized, and then flown to New Hanover Memorial Hospital, or Regional Hospital, I think it's called now. In Wilmington, his condition is listed as stable. Police say there is no immediate evidence of foul play and the public is not in danger. No other explanation. The investigation is continuing. Weird.
That's very weird.
Shot in the chest.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
Did no one hear the shot? How long had it been laying
who
in the
knows?
yard? Like, there's questions.
Very little information.
yeah, and don't know what he was shot with, a handgun, what caliber, small calibers, and sometimes they don't make much noise. And I've said it many times, and I've seen it happen. You can hear all sorts of gunshots, and nobody reacts as long as there's only like one of them.
Did he shoot himself?
Don't know.
Even actually walking and tripped and fell and
Don't know.
shot himself. I mean, there's like a lot of questions here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
A lot of questions, yeah.
So don't know how long he was there. So we'll wait for further details, and maybe Mike McHugh will be calling in after he hears us. Yeah, because he usually has more details than anybody
Yeah,
else.
he
does.
wrote a story on it right away. So, yeah, but everything is because I know some people that were associated with the gentleman, and they said everything's just quiet.
Yeah. Another state has decided that Donald Trump should be barred from the state's primary. Maine Secretary of State, a longtime Democrat, claims that Trump is in violation of the U.S. Constitution that says insurrectionists cannot run for election. All of this stems from the January 6th mayhem in the nation's capital when Trump encouraged supporters to let their voices be heard in an effort to overturn the 2020 elections. Still waiting for any audio that shows Trump actually doing anything that looks like insurrection. Yes, he is and was a jerk on any number of occasions, but being a jerk would exclude a lot of politicians on ballots in every state if that was an element. He's neither been tried nor convicted of any crimes. I refer you again to John Jenrette, a U.S. congressman in the 19 from South Carolina, who was actually under indictment charges when he filed to run for re-election, and he was removed from the ballot. Innocent until proven guilty seems to have been forgotten.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
This popped into my head as you were talking. So I'm a little confused. The Democrats are jumping on the whole anti-Trump bandwagon, or I don't know what I'd even call that.
Mhm.
How? And this is a question, and this is for you or anybody listening. My question is, how is this any different? Now, and I'm talking about the attacks against Trump. You know, he can't run, he can't do this, he needs to go to jail. Okay, those what I'm talking about. How is this any different than some of the politicians who, during the George Floyd riots, for example, got up and spoke to the mob of people that were burning and looting and doing that? Because I looked up the definition of insurrection. Okay. A violent uprising against an authority or government. Well, the George Floyd riots were essentially against an authority being law enforcement.
Yep.
How is what Trump did, just giving a speech at his little rally, any different than these lawmakers, majority were Democrat, who got up and went to these riot zones and spoke, yeah, let's, defund the police and all that stuff. How is that any different? And I'm talking about the ones that were actually there at, speaking to the crowd, and then they marched and burned and looted and did whatever. Not the ones that were talking on TV so much. How is that any different?
Well, I think the biggest thing and this is all a fine line in my book, but when all this started happening, Trump's staff kept going to him and asking him to get out there and put a stop to tell the people to stop.
Mhm.
And he refused to do it. He sat there all day in his little room watching it on TV. And they kept asking him, please, please say something to these people, because they're not going to listen to anybody but you. But he wouldn't do that. And he sat there for hours. So my opinion, I think he was complicit in letting it happen. But did he actually tell the people to go do that? No.
Yeah, but some of these Democrat lawmakers actually told the people, we will march in the streets.
Mhm.
We will, that's actually telling them.
That's like
So
Talib.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the difference? And I just would, I'm not defending Trump by any means. Y'all know I don't like him. However, I want to know, is there a double standard here?
Of course.
I mean, what, and I want people to understand I just want someone to tell me, and this, Theo, this goes for you, because you seem to, or some of the others that like to rail against Republicans or conservatives. What is the difference?
Mhm.
I legitimately just want to know. Explain to me
Now-
what the difference is. Is it just because it's Trump? What is, I want a legitimate difference.
George Floyd, there was a police officer involved in killing him.
Absolutely.
With you can argue whether it had malice aforethought or not, but the length of time that he was there, laying on top of
Oh, I
him.
think he'd done it. My personal opinion, that piece of crap had done this before. This is a Kelly opinion.
Now,
I think he had.
That was one case.
Yeah.
I'm not going to understand or support the people who are rioting or burning or whatever. That's always a very stupid thing.
I
to be
agree. I
doing.
don't agree with rioting at all. Yeah.
And then let's go back to Michael Brown,
hmm
a thug, a crook, who was beating a police officer
hmm
and got shot and killed.
Yeah, because that's a whole different situation.
But people were supporting him too and blasting the police department.
But I think sometimes people just look for reasons to blast a police department. But I think in this case, my point is, Trump being an elected person, these lawmakers that got up and speak, they're elected. But they're calling Trump an insurrectionist, which the definition is a violent uprising, which you could argue that looting and rioting is a violent
When you're
uprising.
burning police cars,
Yeah.
that's,
Or
that's an
breaking
act
into
of violence.
stores.
Or
Big-
breaking into my
That
store.
poor
or
man,
whatever.
the old man got beat up standing outside. Even the security guard got killed, by that angry mob. I want to know what makes some lawmakers not insurrectionists, but others are. I guess that's what I want to know. What is the difference?
If you got an answer, the number is simple, 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. I'd love to have your opinion.
And I think the worst part about this is all these states that are like trying to take him off the ballot. Michigan failed at their attempt, though. They
Mhm.
shut that down. Now Colorado's put him back on there till the Supreme Court.
Yep.
Okay. But all they are doing is boosting Trump's numbers. This is epically failing on their part. But it's almost appears as if they are terrified of him being on that ballot because they know he'll win.
Well, they should find a Democrat to run then,
Find a decent candidate.
what I mean.
Yes. Agreed.
because Joe Biden is not your man.
No, he's not. And neither is Kamala Harris.
Oh, heavens.
But you don't hear peep out of her. Where is she? I mean, we know Biden's in the Virgin Islands. Where is she at? Do we know? What does
don't.
she do? What as a vice president? Somebody tell me what she does. I've asked this before. You
Well,
don't hear
it's been
anything
asked-
about her.
It's been asked of a lot of vice presidents over the years.
But
What do
some-
they actually do?
But some have
Some
been more
do.
vocal than others. Dan Quayle, Al Gore, like him or not, he was out there doing a whole bunch of stuff,
Yes, he was.
environmental stuff, whatever. I mean, Al Gore was out there doing stuff. What has he? I mean, what has Kamala Harris? I'm just asking.
I don't know.
Who was Clinton's vice president? Why is it I can't even remember who that was?
Who's?
Clinton's vice president?
Oh, darn it.
Wait a minute now.
No, who was Clinton's vice
Wasn't that Al
president?
Gore?
Maybe it was. Probably. You're
Yeah,
probably right.
yeah.
Okay, I had to think about that.
Y'all are
Yeah,
confusing
see,
me
I
now.
sat out.
I know,
Yeah,
I had to stop and think.
I had to think about
What?
that. Yeah, it was.
I don't remember much about Clinton's presidency except his trouble he got into.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that terrible when something like that overshadows everything?
There's a lot about the Clinton's presidency. I remember meaning people sitting on park benches, turning up dead, and that lady suing him.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things. Was it Jennifer Flowers? Wasn't that her name?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But I'm just curious, like, some vice presidents,
Joyce
Do-
said Al Gore.
yeah, some vice presidents do more than others.
Mhm.
They just do. But Kamala Harris, we didn't heard a peep. We've had crickets. What has she done? She made one trip overseas. I don't even remember where she went. Far East, I think. I don't even remember.
And then she did appear in a photograph with something about 2 weeks ago. I forgot what that was.
I didn't even see
the
that.
death of
Oh, yes, Sandra Day O'Connor.
Yes.
Yes, she went to see you lying in state
Yeah.
or whatever. Okay.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that's right. We did talk about her doing that. I'm just curious. I don't think even the Democrats want her as his running mate.
No, that's
I mean, I
why
don't
they're all
blame
up in arms.
But she's been very ineffective. I know she
She got the appointment,
Mhm.
the selection, because the Democratic National Committee did not want her running against Biden in 2020 at the primaries
Mhm.
because her numbers looked pretty good, and and Trump was pretty old and getting more and more senile and more radical. His moderate attitude went out the window. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, I think that was the far left wing of the Democrat Party that tried to make him be something. But they took her off and with a promise that he would select her as his running mate, and then in 4 years that he would step down and not seek re-election because he would be older. But now they've seen the true colors of that woman. They don't want her either. And how do they get rid of Biden now? They can't.
I think it's pretty sad, like I've said every day, that this is what the choices we have.
Uh-huh.
These are the choices. Couldn't the Republican Party do better? Couldn't the Democratic Party
Yeah,
do better?
both could. But who is stepping up in the Republicans that can trump Trump?
Nobody wants to. You know why? Because they know from the moment they step up,
Yeah, he's going to blast them. He's going to tear them
blast
down.
him. He's going to tear him down. Look what he did to Texas. Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Look what he had. Look how he crucified even his own, even his family.
Yeah. It's it's a dog eat dog world out there.
The only way they're going to get rid of Trump is him serve another 4 years, be done, can't do anymore.
I don't think he can serve another 4 years.
I mean, if he can run for another term,
Yeah.
but that's it.
I don't believe he can serve it. Even if he's elected, I don't believe he can maintain.
If he's elected, it's going to be a constant impeachment trials, this, that, this. I mean, just let's start 2024 off brand new.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. It's too much baggage in the background.
Yes.
And speaking of baggage,
Baggage, yes.
yeah,
Do tell us that story.
out there in Charlotte at the airport there,
The Queen City.
yeah, they had a family from Florida to fly in last Friday. They got 3 of their 4 suitcases from the baggage claim area,
Okay.
missing one. They filed a claim, but they had an AirTag bag in it. One of those Apple AirTags.
I love Apple AirTags.
I got to get me some, I guess.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
But anyway, so they started a trace, and they got the car on I-85, and it was headed towards and ended up in Gastonia.
Mhm.
But they could not pinpoint the exact house. When they drove over there, they couldn't get it any closer.
Right.
So I guess they got through Christmas
Mhm.
and then went back either Christmas Day or the day after, back to Charlotte, started the whole search over again, and tracked it right straight to the house.
Oh, yes.
Ruh-roh.
Mhm.
The Gastonia Police Department, they show up. They find the baggage. Everything was missing from it. Whatever was in it was probably sold,
Mhm.
traded for drugs. But they got the guys. But they also found somebody else's luggage that was taken from the same flight.
Love it.
Uh-oh. Also had an air tag in it.
Yeah, that's why it's good to tag your stuff.
Yep, it is, for sure. I guess they got them dead to rights on this one, but doesn't mean you're going to get your stuff back. But who is culpable for this? In luggage claim areas, they have limited security there. Nobody ever checks you when you pick up your baggage.
It's true. That's why I stalk that. I run from the plane
So do I.
to my thing. I don't make any stops. I go right and I stake out right there. And
Where
I
it comes out.
in my bag, I carry a pink suitcase, so you can identify that. But still, even if I carry the other one that looks like every other one, I'm watching from my bag. I've got something identifiable on it, then I know it's mine.
Yeah. Oh,
Very
I've got
quickly.
it on the 2 pieces that
Yeah.
we always check.
Mhm.
And this
Same.
big orange, wide,
Mhm.
inch and a half wide belt wrapped around it.
I
tight.
have a Harry Potter Hedwig owl on there, so it's a tag. It's hanging like I know it's
I
mine.
always have something.
Yeah.
Something on mine.
But I'm flat out stalking
Yeah.
the bags.
So am I.
And I've actually went up to somebody that grabbed my one, and I know they thought it was theirs. I mean, I don't think they were trying to sell me. Hey, that's mine. Oh, yeah. I'll fight you right here at the thing for my luggage.
Well, I told you about that time where it's a long story, but I had missed a connecting flight. Had to end up going to Raleigh, Durham at 1:00 in the morning, renting a car, driving back to Jacksonville, then going to Wilmington to get my luggage. And when I went in there, of course, the airport was not busy. There was no flights right at that moment. But there was my luggage sitting right in the middle of the floor all by itself near the offices.
Mhm.
Nobody's watching.
No
Anybody
pilot
could
out
have
there.
picked
Yeah.
it up.
True.
See, what I would be
was so
doing if I was
mad.
airport security,
Mhm.
Right.
I'd probably send some fake luggage down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I'd fill it with.
Just some fake luggage and let it
Yes.
land down there and have the place under surveillance.
Mhm. I agree.
Especially if you're in Charlotte, if you got a band of thieves operating up that way.
Yeah.
Well, you
they're not-
remember when Sam Brinton made headline news? He was
Yeah.
the assistant to the, what was it, Department of Energy's office?
Yeah.
The non-binary guy. Yeah, he was stealing expensive luggage and stuff.
Yeah.
God knows.
I don't put anything of value in my checked luggage.
Oh, I don't either.
Well, I have to.
Well, you do.
You do.
I don't. I will
I'll put
everything
mine
of
in carry on.
everything of value I have on carry on.
I couldn't carry that much on.
Well, Mom and I got one time coming back from Ireland. Mom's had a couple of things, 1 or 2 things taken out of her suitcase, and I did too. And from that point on, and this was years and years and years ago. And that's why now anything of value I take in my carry-on.
It used to be that I put padlocks on my stuff.
Yeah, but now they'll bust that lock
I
quick.
know they
Yeah,
will.
you
I
can't
don't
do that
mine
anymore. No, because
Yeah.
they'll just cut your
'Cause
lock off.
what I used to
Yes.
carry were 2,
Yeah.
I still have them, 2 very
Mhm.
large, those big boxes,
I know what you're
Pelican
talking about.
cases.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and they had 2 places for padlocks on them.
Mhm.
I carry that. I always got no problems whatsoever. But then when they started with these restrictions on weight, those things weigh almost as much as
Well-
they'll reach the baggage limit in a heartbeat.
You know that when TSA actually searches your luggage, they pick random bags. They'll put like a little note in there telling you that they've searched your luggage.
Yep.
I always know. I take pictures of what's in there though, just so I know. Not, I mean, like I said, you want my clothes, fine. If you feel like you need them, go for it.
So I always put
Yeah.
my pretty clothes
Yeah.
in my carry-on.
Put your cute underwear on,
Put my cute
Or
underwear
put your
in the
cute-
carry-on.
or put a couple of cute ones in top of your luggage, so they don't think, man, what kind of crap underwear
I
these
do the
people
same
wearing?
thing, right?
Yeah.
You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 11:20 a.m. WSME. Don't get too far from your radio. Weather's next, and then at the bottom of the hour, we got the one, the only. We have got District Attorney Ernie Lee will be in the house. We'll be right back.
Is your phone plan messing with your savings plan? Don't get stuck paying for things you don't want. With Verizon, you only pay for what you need. And for a limited time, when you bring your own phones to a Verizon store, you'll get an amazing price on your plan. Plus, you'll save on things you actually love, like the Netflix and Max with Ads bundle. And it's on our award-winning 5G network. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today for an incredible deal. A better plan to save is Verizon. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbin Avenue in Swansboro.
If you have a project that requires ready-mix concrete, whether a driveway, patio, livestock housing, outdoor kitchen, or something special for the holidays, Mixed Masters Concrete of Beulaville can handle the job. Large or small, Mixed Masters Concrete offers residential, commercial, and agricultural contract work with professional service and fast delivery. Owner Scott Thigpen provides free estimates, and Mixed Masters Concrete will deliver on Saturdays. In addition to expert concrete service, KPT Masonry does complete concrete finishing. So, for ready-mix concrete and professional concrete finishing, phone 910-298-6153. Mixed Masters Concrete and KPT Masonry of Beulaville. Proud to be part of the continuing growth of Eastern North Carolina, and thanks all our military families and all that serve.
Flatwoods Outfitters of Hubert looks forward to serving you throughout the new year with all your sporting arm needs and personal safety. Located at 111 Second Amendment Lane in Hubert between Jacksonville and Swansboro, Flatwoods Outfitters is Onslow County's oldest sporting and firearm facility. Flatwoods Outfitters has a long gun or pistol in stock. to fit your need, whether for hunting or personal safety. Take advantage of their outdoor shooting range to practice or to learn how to safely operate your firearm, which Flatwoods highly recommends. At Flatwoods, you can sight in your scope to be sure of perfect accuracy to bag that trophy. They carry all the major brand names of long guns, shotguns, and pistols, as well as ammunition. If you are interested in a concealed weapon permit, Flatwoods Outfitters can assist with that also. Flatwoods Outfitters, 111 Second Amendment Lane, just off Highway 24 in Hubert, where they aim to preserve our hunting heritage, wildlife, and Constitution.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
And New Year is right around the corner, as y'all know. It's going to be next Monday. The Tideline team is getting ready to reopen with some cool deals. Aloha pontoon boats, a line of Lund fishing boats for those discriminating anglers out there, and several offshore and nearshore Aqua Sports Center console boats, all waiting for you when the doors open on Wednesday. Word is that the winter speckled trout bite is pretty good these days. The weather itself right now is a little dicey. Don't waste any more time. Stock up on the lures that the local professional guides use to keep their customers coming back. And if you have had all the trouble you can stand with that old outboard or boat trailers, those things won't last forever. Stop in and see what deals are available. See Todd, Elise, or George. They'll offer you something guaranteed. Tideline Marine and Family, 159 Old Bridge Street, on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Got a small craft advisory one more time from this afternoon through tomorrow morning. Offshore today, westerly winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming southwesterly 15 to 20, with gusts to 30 knots this afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet, building to 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Near shore, seas 3 to 4, dominant period 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers a light chop, becoming choppy this afternoon. Tomorrow, winds are going to be out of the west, 15 to 20, with gusts to 25. Seas coming down just a bit, 3 to 5. Dominant period 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers still choppy. Sunday, better. Westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. And on Monday, New Year's Day, westerly winds 10 to 15, becoming northerly 15 to 20 after midnight, seas 2 to 4 feet, sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Today, mostly sunny, a high of 59. It's going to be gusty with gusts as high as 20 miles an hour today. Tonight, clear, cold, low of 34, with gusts as high as 17 tonight. So that's just nippy.
Got to 38 last night.
Tomorrow, sunny, high of 51, and shockingly still gusty. Tomorrow night, no gusts, but clear, cold, 29. That's your fireplace, Rayford.
I know.
And then on Sunday, sunny, high of 55, but still no gusts. So
yeah,
it's not bad.
It's going to return to winter time.
Yes.
Thank goodness most of the leaves are down.
Yeah, I want the winds to blow from that direction. So
Just
they'll blow all of that way.
Yeah.
Well, I
Get it out
thought,
of my
remember when
yard.
I told you after that last storm that all the leaves had been blown out of my yard? And I
Yeah.
was so happy.
They blew
No,
back.
they had been blown up behind the bushes in my garden area. So
They're
yeah,
back.
I got all that picked out. But before we even start, I just want you to know that we have had a viewer that has said, "Good morning, Mr. Lee. Thank you for your hard work and service." And
good.
this is in reference to our district attorney, Ernie Lee, who has joined us.
And he's in the house.
He's in the house.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate it for the
Yeah.
viewer. It's great to be back, Rayford.
Yeah.
I hope y'all have had a good Christmas and are looking forward to a 2024.
Yes, me too. It's
Yeah.
should be nice.
Yes.
Did you get called out during your Christmas break?
No, surprisingly, it was quiet during this
Yay.
Christmas break, and that is the
He
first
said it.
time in many, many years. It's just been a quiet Christmas in all 4 of my counties. So hope I don't say anything now that's going to change that for 2024. But
No,
it's just been a
He
good.
said the Q word.
It'll be okay.
It'll
It'll be okay.
It'll be good. And
Yes.
I know I've had Christmases past where I'd be called out on Christmas Day.
Oh,
And,
goodness.
so, but this year's been very quiet. So I've been very grateful for that. I've had contact, I think 3 to 4 sheriffs in my district, but it's not about any homicides or anything about that. Just other things that are just a lot easier to handle.
Okay, well, that part's good. We always generally talk about some of the tough cases that are out there that happen during a year. And I know there's still plenty of them pending trial, awaiting for
Yes,
you to bring them before the judge
that's right.
and say, how many murder cases to be tried do you have right now in your 4 counties?
Okay, total 41 first-degree murder defendants.
Really?
Oh, my.
41.
Still awaiting trial.
Yeah, awaiting trial. And
Wow.
this year was busy. We had we got rid of 10 first-degree murder cases, and I always like it to be more, but we had trials, and those take a while because each one of those took a couple of weeks. That takes some time right there, but we had a good year. We had a good year around the district. I was just looking at the numbers yesterday, and here in Onslow County in Superior Court, we disposed of almost 1,900 cases, which is pretty good. That's a lot of cases. And with my other counties, it's well over 3,000 cases we disposed in Superior Court alone. So we've been very busy. Quite a few trials. I think we had 19 jury trials in Onslow County this past year in Superior Court. And, that's pretty good because, it's difficult to get a trial off the ground. There's so many issues you got to deal with, discovery and all those type things. And just coordinating schedules. That is always an issue with the defense bar. And but it was still a good year, I think. We got rid of some big cases this year. And as soon as we finished back a couple of weeks ago with no court, we were already planning for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already started working for 2024 right now. And as a matter of fact, after I leave here, I'm going to go back to the Onslow office. I was there last night and had to deal with an issue from Sampson. But I will go back to the Onslow office, and I head to Duplin County today, the rest of the day.
Wow. So there's no rest for anybody, huh?
No rest. There's always something going on, and it's just always busy. That's just nature of my job. And fortunately, I always say that criminals don't take breaks at Christmas time. Well, apparently they did this year. But, I still going to be a busy year. I got a lot of challenges coming up in 2024. Just the number of cases we still got pending, the number of trials we got to get scheduled. And also all those things we know is going to happen, Rayford, as you very well know.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so many things. I have no idea many times what's going to come up.
First degree murder cases, 41.
Right.
Wow.
Any of those death penalty cases?
Yes, sir. Let's see. 4 of those are capital cases. And of course, as you know, in North Carolina, we do have the option of offering life without parole.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see how some of those actually work out if they do. But yeah, I've got 4. So, one of them, I've already set aside, if it goes to trial, 6 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
6 weeks. So that'll be 6 weeks out of the year right there that's gone. Now, I did have one this past year. It was capital, but I played it out September the 11th. And it's one of my cases. The defendant took 3 life without paroles to run consecutively, plus some additional time for some other felony charges.
Thank God it's not concurrent.
Yeah. So he'd killed his family. It was, but
remember that.
Jordan Meade was his name. But I had to look at the mental health records. They went all the way back to his junior high, middle school years. So it was substantiated mental health issues. And so after I just weighed everything out, met with a family who were from actually some of his family now lives in Virginia. I met with them several times, decided to offer 3 life without paroles. He took it. And so we pled that out. That probably saved about 8 weeks of jury trial right there.
Oh,
of course,
sure.
no appeals, with no appeals now.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that I spent a lot of time preparing for, though. I spent a lot of time late at night working on that case, trying to get it ready and read through all those mental health records, but landed up pleading guilty. And as a result, we get other cases tried in its place.
Good.
Well, how do you decide if you're going to make one a capital case?
Okay. In North Carolina, the only time you can have a capital case is for first degree murder, but not every first degree murder can be a capital case. What I mean by that is in North Carolina, you must first of all have first degree murder. Then secondly, you must have at least one or more aggravating circumstances. So at least one. The aggravating circumstances are listed by statute in 15A-2000. And there's 11 of them listed, and you cannot go outside those 11.
Okay.
It must be one of those 11. They are statutory.
Okay.
Lying in wait.
Yeah, that would be. And also, especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, for pecuniary gain or financial gain.
Okay.
Like you kill a law enforcement officer during the performance of his duties, that would be another.
Okay.
There are several out there, some of which, really don't ever come into play. But so I've got to weigh those out. But then, of course, for the jury to actually give death, first I got to come back for first degree murder, because again, that's the only time you get death. And then secondly, they've got to find beyond a reasonable doubt at least one aggravating circumstance. So sometimes you only have one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing submitted to the jury. The defense will usually submit many, many mitigating circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And the jury then has to weigh those out.
That his parents treated him poorly, that the yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
He was
Usually family related,
yeah.
mental health related, come from a bad family, drug issues, stuff like that, anything they think can mitigate it.
Do you ever have families that come in, let's say they're the family of the victim, and they're like, we want death penalty, and you think, well, I don't think this is, and you have to tell them,
Yes.
And do they get upset? Do they understand?
What I've seen is most families are they could be initially upset.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll spend a lot of time with them explaining what the law is and just going through, and I'll go through the pros and cons of the case. I mean, what the issues are going to be. I don't sugarcoat things for them. I just let them know, look, these are all the good things in our favor. These are the bad things. These are the things that are going to come up. No matter what we do, these are going to come before the jury. And then I just let them know what the options are. That look, I could seek the death penalty, but there's going to be challenges with that. Or, sometimes it's best to do life without parole. And one of the things I've noticed that families want is closure. And that is one thing I will tell them. I don't sugarcoat it. Look, if we seek the death penalty, which I've got 2 on death row still right now, but if you seek the death penalty, it's going to last forever. And that is the case because both of mine have been up there since the early 2000s. And so it's been over 20 years right now. And the family, I'm still having to deal with motions in those cases. I've all the time calling those families, letting them know, hey, this has been filed. I will deal with it, but it's been filed. So it's in a way they can never get true closure.
All right, I have another question. Rayford and I this week, we've brought up stories, really nationwide. So I wouldn't say they're per se been in North Carolina, but where the suspect has like multiple, charges in terms of they've been probation. I mean, like
they're given probation when they violate their probation.
Yeah.
like ridiculous stuff. Have you guys ever had talks with judges to say, look, stop giving these morons probation and let's start imposing some kind of sentence? Because I think for some criminals now it's like, well, I'm just going to get probation. I'll just do whatever. Do y'all ever have these conversations with judges?
Well, we really can't have those conversations because we're not supposed to be talking to them outside of court. So, however, on the record, before a court reporter, we'll advocate for active sentences. Now, I will go ahead and say that with structured sentencing, which is the law of the state, that sometimes the judge's hands are bound because when the lower level felonies, particularly H's and I's, which are going to be mostly your drug offenses and your property type crimes, it takes a lot of convictions to actually go to prison. And I hate to say that, but that's the way it is.
So that's a general statute that needs to be changed.
Well, the legislature did this. Let's see, it came into effect back in 1996. We've had structured sentencing for a long time.
Yeah, but drugs and crimes have changed since then. So I would think that means our House and Senate for the state needs to go back in and kind of reevaluate this.
Well, I think the evaluation done by the legislature and there's both parties on this one is that it's been that at one time the prisons were so overcrowded with drug offenders and it was costing the state of North Carolina so much money, the legislature decided to change some of the laws, which they did with structured sentencing, to make the lower level felonies less likely to actually have to serve active time, which means that the more violent people will serve.
Yeah,
but I also know, because my argument is, I've been to the legislature about this, is you got these lower level drug offenders. Sure, first time, give them some treatment, give them some probation. But come on, as this becomes a repetitive thing, all we're doing, we're costing the system more. We're costing the taxpayers more. And I've advocated for that in the legislature because it does cost more in the long run if you have repeat offenders. Because every once someone gets charged with a felony, first of all, just the cost of prosecuting one person, I don't know what it is, but it costs a lot of resources. Secondly, everyone's going to get a lawyer. Who pays for those lawyers if they can't pay for them? The taxpayers.
Right.
And then the probation officers, who pays their salaries? The taxpayers. I mean, it's just a lot of people there and a lot of resources that get involved. Look, I recognize that some drug offenders, obviously many drug offenders have substance abuse issues, but even with treatment, there's got to be some type of punishment. Otherwise, it just continues. And I agree with you, particularly on the lower level felonies, that sometimes is not the best just to keep them out of prison. Now, one thing we will use in my district a lot, and some districts don't, is habitual felon. But it takes 3 prior convictions felony convictions on different dates. It's got to be different dates. And in order to make them a habitual felon. And at that point, the punishments go up significantly, which would mean some extra time.
Well, something else I've seen locally here, and as a mental health and substance abuse therapist, I've noticed that there are some people sitting, and I know for a fact there's a couple sitting at the jail at Onslow whose charges have been dropped, but they're sitting there because a judge named a particular, they're going to Rayford's treatment center and just saying, I ordered this person on treatment. But what these judges fail to understand, these treatment centers have, whether it's mental health or substance abuse, have long waits. So now you've got an individual sitting in the Onslow County Jail being housed at taxpayers' expense because a judge named a particular place. I don't know if they think these are just unlimited or because I'm a judge and I ordered them, they're going to let them in. No. And I know this from working with some of these individuals myself. The judges need to understand, and I don't know if this is something you can just tell them or we need to have a judge in here and explain how this works. I'm all for ordering someone to treatment, absolutely. But don't name a place. Don't say, well, you've got to go to Black Mountain or you've got to go to Cherry Hospital or you've got to go, to, Trosa and Raleigh. Just say, I ordered
First available.
Yeah, to a treatment facility. So they're not tying up the jail. They are, you can figure out how to order them in a certain amount of time, but you're at the mercy because we're limited in treatment facilities anyway. But I see this more and more, which is a taxpayer thing, but also can eventually become a jail overcrowding problem here where you don't have a place to put someone that needs to be in jail because you got somebody just awaiting transport that they could be sitting there 8 months. Some places have a year waiting list. So I had to get that off.
Now that is an issue, and we do have a lack of mental health facilities and treatment facilities in the state. I've always, and I've talked about this when I'm at the legislature too, that we need to have more regional places because it's just not the best to have someone from Onslow County and maybe get sent to Asheville for drug treatment.
Yeah.
And now they no longer have any family support because many times their family members cannot drive to Buncombe County. It's just not happening. And so they're just kind of put out there for a while and then eventually just released back into Onslow County. And sometimes the drug treatment, you very well know, it's just not long enough. I mean, it takes sustained treatment for most people addicted with drugs. And that's one of the things I've seen that I wish we could do differently is we have more regional. That way you have like several counties that have a regional drug treatment facility. And that way they'd be closer to home. That way their families could still go see them because you got to have that family support system. You've got to have it. And then it's got to be longer.
Minimum of a year, in my opinion. Needs to be a year. 30 days treatment isn't going to do anything for anybody. I'm just here to tell you it's not. 6 months, some people can do, but a lot of these people, especially depending on what drug their drug of choice is, they need a year. And, programs like the one in Raleigh work well, but they are at capacity. I mean, and it's for some people, they don't have transportation.
Oh, you're right. I mean, because come on, just face it. I mean, a lot of these people are committing crimes or, are going to be lower economic status to begin with, and therefore they don't have resources.
They don't have the resources.
It's like Sheriff Thomas told us yesterday. He has to take 6.5 hours for a deputy to take an involuntary commitment to Asheville one way. 6.5 hours back. If the family can't afford to go pick him up, they have to. Sheriff is required by a state law to go pick him up and return him. That's another 13 hours on the road. It's 26 hours just to get a person there and back twice.
And that means there's a deputy then that can't be patrolling. That's a deputy can't be doing other things they should be doing instead
preventing crime.
And yet, and the taxpayers are paying that.
They are.
For the transportation and that deputy's salary to go get someone.
And I just think the judges need to not name a specific facility. Just say treatment facility.
I will, when I'm going to be meeting with my assistant DAs about 2024, I'm going to mention that.
Yeah.
I will mention it to them.
Just because they don't know the waiting list, it's bad. I'm still trying to get somebody in treatment. So I know if I can't do it, it's just hard.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Don't go away. We got some interesting conversation with our district attorney, Ernie Lee.
Casey Kasem has unlocked the American Top 40 vaults and is replaying original shows from the 70s. This week, Casey takes you back to a special, the top 100 hits of 1978, Part 1. We'll hear big hits from Jefferson Starship, ABBA, Eddie Money, Linda Ronstadt, Styx, and many more. The top 100 hits of 1978, Part 1, right here on American Top 40, the 70s.
Check out Casey Saturday mornings 8 to 11 on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843.
Coastal Bank and Trust thanks you for allowing us the privilege of handling all your banking needs, including personal and commercial loans to mortgage services. With locations in Jacksonville, Holly Ridge, Richlands, and Morehead City, Coastal Bank and Trust truly is a community bank dedicated to those we serve and is proud to be a part of the continued growth of Onslow, Carteret, and surrounding counties, and looks forward to meeting you. Thank you for voting us the best of the best 5 years in a row. FDIC insured and an equal housing lender.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
You know, if we hang around here for just a little while, we could solve all of the problems in this country, couldn't we?
Amen.
We got the man in here who can help do part of that as well. What is the status of Mr. Morton's case? It's been 8-9 years now.
Yeah, it's still
I
being
wish-
investigated. Oh my goodness. It's one of those I look at when law enforcement contacts me.
Mhm.
I deal with a lot of cold cases like that one.
Sure.
And what I encourage law enforcement to do in this around my district, look, if there's some time you've got something else you need to talk to me, come see me. I'll usually get an assistant DA involved. That will be 2 of us listening to the evidence. And lately, I've been getting a lot of PowerPoints, things such as that the law enforcement have been putting together, which have been very, very good. And then at some point, we've got to decide whether or not we have enough evidence. But Rayford, as you know, the longer a case goes, the less likely it is to be able to charge, and then even less, less likely to prosecute and convict. I've done 3 cold cases in my career. One was 38 years old when I tried it. And I can just tell you, it is challenging. It is challenging to say the least. I remember the one that was 38 years old happened on Western Boulevard.
I remember it well, too.
2-lane road.
Because I shot the photos of that.
Yeah, Marine got killed there, and as you know, and then 38 years old, I can still remember asking the witnesses, let me direct your attention. I think it was like September the 16th of 1972. What were you doing that day?
Mhm.
Wow. But
Who knows that? Like,
yeah,
I knew what I was doing that night.
I can't tell what I did last week.
and I've done
Right there
2
with
others.
you.
Like I did one that was 18 years old,
Mhm.
and that was a tough one. Happened over at the Circle Motel, which used to be across from the Jacksonville Police
I
Department.
did that one too, Ms. Beck.
Yeah. Arlene Pickle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Beck. Yeah.
Her maiden name was Beck.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
was. It
And
was.
I-
Gosh, she had a great memory.
Well, I photographed her dentures, which had her name stamped in it
And
during the autopsy.
yeah, that was at the Circle Motel. That's not been there, I guess, forever.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't know when it was torn down, but that happened over there. And the guy that was charged, a guy named Daniel Armijo,
Truck driver.
and
Tennessee, I believe, right?
He went, honestly, I can't remember where he was from. He landed up down in Mississippi and Louisiana after this homicide because he got charged with armed robbery down in Louisiana. He was convicted and got placed in Angola State Prison. And while he was in Angola State Prison, the Onslow County Sheriff's Office, the SBI, went down and talked to him again. He got released from there finally, went to New Jersey, went and talked to him again. We decided there was sufficient evidence. And Bill Andrews was the district attorney at the time. He assigned the case to me. I tried it, and the guy was convicted of second-degree murder. So that was a while back. Judge Charles Henry was the defense attorney, which shows how long ago it's been now.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope the one, Mr. Morton, I hope someday.
I definitely hope there was some
someday
evidence.
something comes up.
I do too.
It's not totally dead.
Because, these cases, and one thing I will tell the sheriff's office does is they do a good job on this. They'll have someone work it for a while because they've got their other cases also, but they'll have someone look at this. But then after they feel like they've exhausted everything, they'll have fresh eyes look at it.
Best way to do it.
And that is
I
the
agree.
best way to do it. That's what happened on that Armijo case and also the one, the Hayden case that was 38 years old. They'll have fresh eyes look at it because, as you know, when you read something over and over, you're just reading the same thing. Put some fresh eyes on it, you will notice something different. And that's what we'll do. And that's the reason also I'll grab an assistant DA that knows nothing about it. And hey, I want you to look at it now with me. What do you think? I'm not telling them what to look for. I'm just saying, look at it. And then it's amazing what they will see that I did not notice.
Yeah, when I go into a crime scene, I did not want anybody else in there.
Oh,
Because I wanted to shoot all four corners and then work my way in. I did not want to be tainted. Hey, come over here. This is what you need to take. No, I'll look first. And then you can point at, after I've done everything that I can do, then you can tell me what else there is.
That is the way to do it.
Yeah.
And also, as you know, Rayford, you mentioned it, don't let officers in there touching things because they love
Or
to-
smoking.
or smoking
eating or anything else.
Yeah, because you drop
my
a cigarette butt and all of a sudden it becomes an issue. Whose is it? Was it the
Right.
defendant's? Was it the perpetrator? Or was it an officer's?
Change it.
Oh my goodness. And I've had to deal with that too in the past. And it is what it is. I have to deal with it and try to minimize any issues that may come up. But I always have to address them anyway.
Defense attorneys are going to look for the weakest thing.
Oh, yeah.
Anything, just to add a little possibility. Hey, there is this possibility. Well, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if they can attack one thing on a crime scene, it may just be a minor thing, but they can say, look, if you mess that up, how do we know we can trust the rest of the crime scene that you did? And that
True,
becomes the
yeah.
issue.
Look at the state lab.
Yep, that's
that,
right.
That mess they went through.
They sure did. And we had to deal with that
Yep, all
quite a
those rape
while,
kids.
particularly on drug offenses and rape offenses,
Right.
sex offenses. We had to deal with that quite a bit. So crime scenes are so important. Invariably, if I try a murder case with another prosecutor, almost invariably I'm doing the crime scene myself. I will have them do other things, but I am going to handle the crime scene. What I mean by that is I'm going to introduce the evidence. I'm going to have all the evidence marked. I'm going to have the photographs I want put in because I just, that's so very important. I almost always will start off my murder trials too with the crime scene. It's not in chronological order the way I do it. I'll put the crime scene out there and then I'll start going back to what happened. And that way the jurors know, wow, this is all the evidence they found. And then I'll tie it together later.
As a district attorney, do you go in and photograph the crime scene yourself? I mean, I know the police do it, so you don't. Okay.
I do not. And even if I get called out to a crime scene, as Rayford said, I am so very careful. I make sure that they have done what they need to do before I am ever allowed entry into it because I don't want to become a potential witness in my own case.
Right. Yeah.
And so I don't go out and do photographs or anything. I let law enforcement do that.
Okay.
And here's one thing interesting about that. I just think back to like the cases in the past, and Rayford knows this because initially you were using film photograph. And as a result, many times you would not have as many photographs because it was expensive. Now everything's digital. And whereas before, let's say, for example, in an older case, I might have had maybe 50 photographs. That's just a number I'm throwing out. Now it is not unusual for me to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photographs. Now that's great because I have a lot to choose from, but also it's a lot of work because I'll have all these different photographs spread out on a conference table. It'll take up the entire table. just for one little part that I want to talk about. And then I will go through and try to pick out the best ones. 'Cause I can't introduce all of them. I got to pick out the best ones. And that takes a lot of time and work, as you know, Rayford. Oh my goodness.
Yes. All right, let's take a break here. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
All right, here we go to this Rick Dees, and don't forget about Sports Talk with Chris Rayner, Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Great interviews, the latest in local, college, and pro sports. Chris Rayner is number one. Find Chris right here on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 AM WSME.
Modern Exterminating 627 College Street, Jacksonville has proudly been serving the pest control needs of Onslow and surrounding counties since 1952. That's 70 years of protecting the health and property of our citizens from rodents, termites, mosquitoes, and all other pests. Modern Exterminating offers inspection without obligation. Being authorized to serve government quarters, Modern Exterminating takes this opportunity to thank those who serve and allowing us to handle all your pest control needs. If what they use don't zap them, they'll trap them. And if you're not satisfied, they'll step on them. The bug stops here. Modern Exterminating, family owned and operated since 1952. Call today, 910-455-5122. That's 910-455-5122 for Modern Exterminating.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team, serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967. Now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vented cleaning, and now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any other reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hampstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax. We're on the way.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back live in local Real Talk, and our guest in the studio, we've got District Attorney Ernie Lee, and he represents 4 counties. Onslow is the largest county, largest population county,
Sir.
but we don't have all the crime here at Onslow County.
I've got Sampson, Duplin, and Jones too that also keep me busy. Like, 'cause I'll be in Duplin County this afternoon. I've got a murder that I'm looking at for 2024 over there, and so stay pretty busy. Sampson keeps me busy too.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah,
We're the
seems like-
biggest, I guess, size-wise county or population. I don't know.
Population.
But are some of the other counties? Do they have just as much crime as we have, or a little more, or do we still have the most?
Our numbers are still, because we got over 200,000
Yeah.
people here, and we got
Okay.
such a young population too in
Yeah.
Onslow County. And probably my second most would be Duplin County, even though Duplin County is about 4,000 less people than Sampson, but just a lot of stuff in Duplin County. And then Sampson, then Jones. Jones has 10,000
quiet,
people.
yeah.
Didn't you
Relatively
have,
quiet.
was it Sampson County back a couple months ago? There was like 5 people that died in it.
Right. We
Murder,
had
suicide?
5 persons that were dead, and at the same time, an officer-involved shooting. All this within 24 hours.
I remember the
That's
shooting.
right. I remember
yeah.
that now.
I was actually in Raleigh at the time. This past year, I've been president of the Conference of District Attorneys, so I've been up in Raleigh too, advocating the legislature for different things. But I remember I was actually in Raleigh at the time, and my phone was ringing off the hook. I was on the phone with the SBI. I was on the phone with the Sampson County Sheriff. I was on the phone with the Clinton Police Department. And it was just one thing after the other. And it was just something. I'd get another call. I thought it was going to be about the previous one I just talked about. It was something new. We had 4 back-to-back things within 24 hours.
I remember that.
To the point that WRAL actually had something on their site would Sampson County, map the Sampson County, adding to the different things that were happening.
Wow.
And I still got it saved on my phone because it gives me a good summary of what happened. But that was extremely busy. My phone was ringing off the hook. I was supposed to be presiding over the district attorney's meeting. I had to keep stepping out, taking phone calls.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm sure they understand.
Yes. Yeah, because they're all district attorneys too.
It's not like you got an unusual audience here. You've got a special audience.
I know drug cases are on the rise, it's always a thing, but are you seeing an increase in domestic violence cases?
We did during COVID.
Okay.
Well, there was a significant increase during COVID. It's less now than then, but of course, then people had to stay in closer together and things. And we saw just a lot of increase seemingly in drug abuse and domestic violence and some gun violence. And but I think it's because families were just closer and not be able to go outside.
Got on each other's nerves, couldn't release their tensions.
Yeah, it's taking it a little far.
Yeah. And so, but that was an issue. I know that we treat domestic violence very, very seriously in my district. One of the issues that comes up, though, and this is for the listeners out there, it does not help, though, if there is a victim out there who reports it, then law enforcement, the DA's office makes steps to try to punish this person.
And then they drop it.
And then they will not cooperate.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I see that all the time. It's usually a spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend. And I see that all the time, but that just, basically is sort of giving the defendant a free pass to do it again.
Because they're going to do it again. Usually they go through that honeymoon phase and I'll never do it again, which is always uttered. And then they turn around and do it again. Next time each time gets a little worse.
Yes.
Till eventually a lot of times sadly ends up in a death or a major serious.
So many of my domestic violence homicides, because we'll go back and pull all the reports.
There was a lot, yeah.
And it's amazing, though, of the number of reports you'll find of prior occasions where this happened, where it was assaulted behavior. But it's also more amazing the number of times that the victim would not prosecute. Just simply would not testify against the individual. So therefore, you don't have a case. And I know a lot of it's because, they do love the person.
Yeah.
They still love them. And also economic reasons. This is,
children,
providing support children. That's a major issue is children. And so, and obviously some people, they just really do want to keep the relationship together. They do want to really try to work on it. But unfortunately, you got the perpetrators, if they don't want to work it out, and then the violence will probably just increase.
So I have a question about that. Say there was a situation, man and woman married. The husband had been charged with a domestic violence order and had been given a restraining order. And then further on down the line, he ends up killing his wife. Now, is that qualifications to be charged with first degree murder?
Yes, it would be. And there's actually the statute's been amended to include some of that domestic violence, violation of protective orders. And it happens. Years ago, I tried that case it happened at Olive Garden here in Onslow County, here in Jacksonville. And that individual, he went to Olive Garden waiting in the parking lot for his wife to come out. She worked there. He was already had a domestic violence protection order against him. But he went there with a gun.
Right.
She would not get in the vehicle, would not let him in her vehicle. He then shot her in the chest. She survived, thank goodness, but he then took off. And I tried him. He fled to South Carolina, came back into Columbus County, was involved in a shootout with law enforcement. And although he never fired his weapon, law enforcement fired theirs because he pointed his weapon at them.
It's close enough.
And he was seriously injured, but survived. I tried him and he was convicted. But he had a long history of domestic violence. And that is one lady that we still have contact with because she's always afraid, what if he gets out one day? Because, he tried to kill her that day.
Let's take a Fox News break, and I've got a question for you when we come back. I know you've got to go, right?
Yeah, I got to go soon. Yes.
Okay, we'll be right back. You're live in Local Real Talk. Don't get too far from your radio.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News.
News. I'm Therese Crowley. Maine's Democrat Secretary of State makes a decision to remove Donald Trump from the GOP primary ballot based on 3 complaints in her opinion that Trump committed insurrection. Trump's legal team calls the decision atrocious with no due process. Trump campaign promises a quick appeal. California's Secretary of State has certified its primary ballot with Trump, despite calls from the lieutenant governor to drop him. Biden administration talks to enlist the Mexican government to help cut the border surge, raising new alarms after the U.S. and Mexico discussed amnesty for illegal migrants who've been in the U.S. for years. Republicans say that'll only add new incentives.
The idea that they're actually looking at amnesty, that they've already allowed millions of people to come across, thousands of lives to be poisoned. This isn't fecklessness or ineptitude. This is treason.
Florida Republican Corey Mills on Fox's Kudlow. Talks continue in D.C. in January. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real talk.
Okay, and our guest in the studio is District Attorney Ernie Lee, if you're just joining us. And Ernie, you talked about earlier in the show about life without benefit of parole.
Yes, sir.
Period. But can't get out. Now, here is the only thing. At one time, we had the death penalty that you worked out. Once you were assigned to death row, you were going to die, basically. Obviously, that's not true anymore.
No, sir. We've not executed anyone in the state since 2006.
Okay. Now, but can the legislature decide, or maybe a future Supreme Court decide, that life without the benefit of parole is cruel and unusual punishment?
That is one of those. That's an excellent question. That's always one of those concerns I've always had.
Me too.
That first of all, that if the death penalty is ever done away with in this state, then the next thing that'll probably be attacked is life without parole.
Sure.
And I have entered pleas, like I told you about Jordan Meade. He got 3 life without paroles consecutively. These families have relied upon me and the system to mean that he will be in prison for the rest of his life. I do think it would be outrage among the public, among victims' families, if in fact the law were to change. But I'm also always very concerned about that. What if a Supreme Court in the future says that life without parole is cruel and unusual punishment? That really does concern me, because we have relied upon the law, this life without parole, to put these people away forever. And we tell the families forever means forever. And I'm always been concerned, what if in the future we have a court that comes in and says it's cruel and unusual?
Now, people that are out on probation or parole, so let's say they've been released from prison early, even earlier than their minimum sentence, because I have found a bunch of those when I've done the searches of individuals recently.
Right.
They were ordered a minimum of 3 years, a maximum of 6 years, and they get out in 24 months.
Yeah, a lot of that, because it is supposed to be truthful sentencing with a structured sentencing. However, you are entitled to any pretrial confinement, which goes off the front end and the back end, which means that if you've had pretrial confinement, that counts as part of your sentence. So, for example, if you got a 3-year active sentence, but you've already served 1.5 years in the local jail, that 1.5 will count towards your minimum and your maximum.
Wow.
I have a question. This is more on a personal note. How do you personally deal with the pressure that you get from interacting with the families of murder victims, where they want you to, get to help them? Yeah, an eye for an eye. And sometimes, not always, will you be able to get that. But how do you deal with all the pressures, all the emotions of dealing with a lot of these cases?
Well, every family is different, and that I've ever dealt with, and I've done so many homicide cases through the years, that dealing with families, the first time I meet them, I'm not really sure what I'm going to get at that moment, because I don't know these people. And you do see it's just a lot of emotions. Some are angry, some are demanding immediate justice, which is not going to happen. Some are more forgiving. Some are just so emotional. Some won't even talk to you much. So I had to deal with all these. What I try to do with these people, though, is my first meeting when I have with these victims' families, and I've changed through the years because I've learned a lot from doing it, is that my first meeting is I want to find out more about their loved one. Let them talk about the person who was killed, and get to know that person, because I don't know that person. All I have is a picture. And so, but everyone's got a story. I want to hear their story. And that is the first thing I do with families. However, at some point, maybe that same meeting, the families just have a lot of questions. I'll go and answer them. But usually I try to wait to the second meeting. Now we're going to start going through the procedures and what you can truly expect. But I always thought that first meeting is a good time for them to get to know me and for me to get to know them. And most of all, get to know their loved one. I'm going to tell you, it bothers me sometimes. I'll deal with people that are very difficult to deal with. And with Facebook, with social media, anything can be put out there about you. And I see that. I don't look at it myself. I use my assistant DAs will print it off and put it on my desk and show me. And it kind of bothers you because, we're all people. Mm-hmm. But then I also got to just remember, look, I just got to do my job. I just got to do what's right. My job is not to do what's popular. My job is to do what's right. And also, ultimately, I have got to be the one who decides. It's not going to be the family who decides. I remember many years ago, I had a case where there was an issue on a search, and it happened down at Sneads Ferry. And defendant was charged with first-degree murder, but there was a search issue. And that's just the way it is. And I decided during the suppression hearing, I need to offer second-degree murder. I needed to. And I remember the family was not happy with that. In fact, they were very unhappy. But I told them, I've got to do what I've got to do. And they said, well, we'd rather you just go have a not guilty than do that. And I said, but I represent the state of North Carolina. I represent the public. I still got to protect the public from this individual. So I took the plea. I went back to see them after it was over with, and they wouldn't even shake my hand. And I just had to deal with things like that. But I still got to do what's right. And to this day, I have no idea what was right.
Have you guys ever had instances where the jurors, after a trial is over, has approached the district attorney's office to talk about the case?
Yes.
Is that really?
Yeah, it does happen.
Really?
Yeah, it does happen. Huh. And I remember years ago, I had one juror, I won't say which case, but I had one juror that was a not guilty. And it wasn't a homicide. It was another type of case, but it was like a felony assault. And I remember the juror, they said not guilty, but then came back a couple of days later, wanted to see me and said, I want to change my mind. And I said, well,
they don't work that way.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Oh,
and I appreciated him coming by. It was him, but I did appreciate that.
Do they ever tell you when they come to see you where they think that there were maybe some weak points or something like that, and for your future benefit?
Mm-hmm. And I've been told that, and sometimes it'll be criticisms of why the prosecution did something, or criticisms of law enforcement. Look, I'm not very thin-skinned, so look, just tell me the way it is, because it will help me improve too. And so, and then if it's something about law enforcement, I'll share it with them and say, look, this is something that came up that the jurors are looking at. Because that's one thing, when we're putting a case on, we never know. Jurors may be concentrating on something and we don't even think that important, but the jurors are concentrating on it.
Well, I've only been a jury once. It was a murder trial. It was here in Onslow County, and Mike Maltsby
who's great,
prosecuted the case, and it was a conviction. It was a case of the this was like 2000, maybe 8 or 9. I don't even remember. The construction worker from out of town that was killed right off of Cardinal Road.
That's right.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
And he was at the Cardinal Lounge, and it was kind of like a drug deal gone bad. Yeah, I was on that jury.
Wow.
It was very interesting. And I remember the jury room, there was a heated debate at one point. It wasn't unanimous initially in the room. And then because people were interpreting something different, but then we went back and reviewed the photos and testimony. And it was no doubt the guy was guilty.
Yeah. And so, Mike is an incredible prosecutor.
He was very good. Yeah.
Mike and I have tried many cases together. And Mike is an extraordinary prosecutor. He's been with me now for 31 years. Yeah. And he does a great job. I consult with him a lot. I ultimately have to make the decisions, but I will consult with Mike because he has the experience and the temperament.
Yeah.
And he's been there. He's had some not guilty, so he knows the issues. He knows how that feels. And he's had quite a few guilties, of course.
Yeah, this was guilty.
But I appreciate your service on the jury in that case. I remember that case very well because even if I'm not trying, particularly these homicides or these bigger cases, even if I'm not the one in the courtroom, I'm part of so many meetings where they're discussing things with me about it. And I remember that case very well because
and
Mike
it was
discussed with me all the
interesting.
time.
Yeah, it was a lot of crime scene photos.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was. This is when I knew I don't want to ever be on a jury ever again because it's a lot of pressure as a jury. To me, I just felt a lot of pressure. Like I've got to send this guy away for his life. He was a young guy, but I mean, he was guilty.
You don't send him away.
No, well, we had to vote to do it.
That's what the judge does.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a lot of pressure. But it was
I've never
interesting.
served.
I liked it,
I've
but
always been excused.
They always kick me off.
served.
it was
Yeah,
my
what
one
do
and
you
only
mean?
time. My one and only time
Why?
ever been called.
Me too.
I was like, how'd I
Rayford.
get on this
never
murder
got to
trial?
I go there and sit there a week, and they finally call my name, and then they interview me and go, "You can step down." I'm like,
Well, I tell you what, we need yours. We need people
Yeah.
to come in with an open
Yes.
mind.
Yeah.
I'll volunteer.
And
I was
that's what we need.
open-minded, yeah.
You know, we just need people who can be fair.
Mhm.
That's what we ask for. Just be fair and impartial.
Mhm.
Don't come in with your mind made up. Listen
Nope.
to the evidence.
I didn't even know what the case was. Just went in there. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I thought it was going to be. Oh, okay. First time. Yeah, it was very interesting to see the legal process from a whole different perspective.
Especially jury selection.
Yeah, that was
That's-
neat.
that's
There was a
intense.
lot of people in
That's
there. And
intense.
some of the excuses people gave to try to get out of jury,
Oh,
I was sitting back
yes.
there chuckling. I was
Oh.
like, this can't be a thing.
There
I tried-
used to be a judge. Was it Strickland?
Judge James R. Strickland.
You walked in there for jury duty and you weren't dressed appropriately.
Yeah.
He had a deputy take you home to change
Yes,
your clothes.
yes.
That man scared me.
Well, I think
He can be
I don't.
tough. I remember him very well. His picture's in our courtroom. It's named the James R.
Yes.
Strickland courtroom.
I
Yes.
remember
I don't
him when he
know
was
who-
attorney for the
Yes.
for
For
the
the
county
city.
commission, I believe.
Yeah, that's
County
right.
commissioners.
Wow.
Who's in charge? This is a stupid. This must be a judge thing, but I'm in court now a lot for like custody cases, DSS cases, that kind of thing. One thing I have noticed, I know there's a quote sign on the door. There needs to be a dress code. That's all I'm gonna say. First,
And there is. There is.
Well,
But some
it needs to
people's
be
idea
better.
of complying with the dress code is not.
I think it needs to be
not the best.
incredibly spelled out. I saw recently
Holy jeans are not acceptable.
Yeah,
pajamas.
T-shirts.
Somebody was in there
with saying
I've
last
seen him
month in
come in
pajamas.
pajamas, and I've
Yes.
seen him come in with T-shirts with things written on there that are not
Mhm.
appropriate.
right.
Sometimes foul language on their
Yes.
T-shirts,
Hmm.
and it's just not appropriate. I mean,
No.
you got to show respect. You got to show respect because there's really respect for the government's respect for the judicial system. But I do see that too, and the bailiffs will escort them out. They go home and change and come
They
back.
look terrible. I remember when I was 18 years old, I got my first speeding ticket. It don't matter how
First.
fast I was going. It was worse. Let's say that. But my mama, I know she's listening, so I'm going to bring this up, had told me when we were going to court, we had in Guilford County, and she said, you are going to dress up. You're going to go to court like you're going to church. So I had to put on a whole dress suit and everything. I mean, like she said, you will look presentable. That's what you do in court. It is respect.
It is respect.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
also beneficial
always
to the
thought that
person
way.
coming in because the
Yeah.
judge will see you in a different light,
Mhm.
Yes.
and you got to present yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not just what you say; it's how you look in terms of your dress.
A lot
I
of
agree.
defense attorneys, when they've got a guy that's waiting, particularly in a murder trial, he's waiting in jail. Of course, the only thing he's got is orange. Somehow they managed to find a suit that'll fit him
Mhm.
for his day in court.
Mhm.
Many times that's paid for by the taxpayers, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure
I
of
know
that.
what that.
No.
Yeah.
They'll go out and purchase
Yeah.
suits for them, but they're indigent, so it's paid for by the taxpayers.
True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, well. Ernie, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, my
Thank
goodness,
you.
it's been
always
so
a
good.
pleasure.
It's wonderful. Good
It's a good way to
information.
end the year.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
look, I look forward to coming back in 2024. I appreciate all y'all do. Y'all do a great job just really educating the public out there.
But that's what we're here for.
And that's a good thing.
Oh,
I really
look,
do
we have
appreciate it.
a
We got a
phone
phone
call.
call?
I knew
Well,
somebody
it's
had a
just
question.
always fascinating listening to your stories.
I'm not sure who it is, but
I will see. Maybe it's a question. Here you go.
get your headphones, Ernie. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning.
Yes.
Hey, I got a question for Ernie Lee real quick, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Hey, Ernie Lee, I appreciate what you do for Onslow County. You
Thank
made
you,
your
sir.
name in Onslow County around here. But got a question for you. There's a case going on right now with a towing company in Jacksonville with the U.S. government for selling service members' cars. Do you know anything about that?
Sir, my office was not involved in that, but yes, I am aware of it. I've also read the articles about it, and that was handled by the United States Attorney's Office, U.S. Attorney's Office out of the Eastern District, which is in Raleigh. And that one there, they reached a civil judgment. It was not a criminal case. It was treated as a civil judgment. And I believe what I recall is that the towing companies had to pay in excess of $66,000 in civil penalties as a result of that.
Okay. Did you have anything? So you didn't have nothing to do with that, right?
No, sir. No, sir. That did not
Federal
involve
court.
my office. That went federal, and plus it was also civil, sir. But that was a great question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate your time with me, and I understand you are a Christian and you do pass out Bibles and stuff. I understood.
Yes, sir. Oh, I appreciate you saying that.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
I've been with the Gideons since 1994.
Oh, cool.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I
Thank you.
appreciate your
Y'all have a
call.
blessed day,
I wish you a very happy and safe New Year, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
sir.
Bye-bye. Goodness gracious. For some reason, that's a case that went over
It's
my
right
head.
here online. It popped
Yeah,
up today.
it just
got
settled
this
yesterday.
week.
Settled yesterday,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's, yeah. And
I
it's-
remember when that happened. Yeah.
And I actually pulled up to talk about later on. So,
Okay, well,
yeah.
good. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I went to school with him and his wife.
Ernie, thank you, sir.
Yes,
Oh, thank you for having me
No.
today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. It's always good to be with y'all. And again, I appreciate y'all do for Onslow County and the surrounding area because it's a good way to educate people and get people involved. Really get people involved. And I do like that.
Yeah, I haven't even been to your new office.
Yeah, you need to come up there.
I know.
It's awesome.
It's
I've been
beautiful up there. The county did us well.
They did do a good job.
I every day, and I'm getting ready to go there right now. Every time I walk that building, I'm in awe. It is so nice.
Good.
And it's so practical. And having all the conference rooms that we do, so we can actually meet with more than one family at a time, which we couldn't do that before. And just to have the resources, and it just looks nice. And it's just a very nice building. Every time I see a county commissioner, I thank them for that building, past and present.
Good.
Because it took a lot
It's
of
a
people
nice
to get that
building.
done.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you're all always welcome to come up there and visit. I mean, it's owned by the people of Onslow County. It's not mine. It's owned by the people. So please come up there and see it any chance you get.
You got it. I'm going to do it. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. Have a happy New Year, Ernie, and I will see you next year, no doubt.
Coming up on the next Goddard's Gold, New Year's Eve weekend, New Year's Eve hits with the Beatles, Rod Marvin Gaye, I'll get it, Supremes, Dave Clark 5, Steppenwolf, the Monkees, Creedence, Strawberry Alarm Clock, George Harrison, Sly and the Family Stone, Gladys Knight, and the Pips. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a great show. Next Gold.
Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 a.m. WSME.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbin Avenue in Swansboro.
Hello, shoppers, and Happy New Year from your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store where good things called Sless, down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Beef back ribs, just $2.99 a pound. Whole bottom round Hollywood, just $3.59 a pound. Hog jaws, $1.99 a pound. How about single pack T-bone steaks, just $6.99 a pound. Pork spare ribs, just $1.79 a pound. 10 pounds or more fresh ground chuck, just $3.59 a pound. How about a 10-pound bag of fresh fryer leg quarters, just $4.99 for a 10-pound bag. And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, and they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's Farm chicken. Over in produce, tender asparagus is just $1.99 a pound. Russet baking potatoes, 99 cents a pound. Zesty limes, great for those drinks, just 49 cents each. Western Honeycrisp apples, just $1.99 a pound. Sweet golden pineapples, $2.99 each. Haas avocados, 99 cents each. And crisp, fresh broccoli crowns, great for those salads, just $1.99 a pound. And you get 2-liter Cokes or Sprites. The pig price is 2 liters for just $3. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store where good things called Sless down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the pig.
If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760. For 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery for all their jewelry needs for every special occasion. They understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds, diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and paid top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville. Open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back. And before we go to weather, we got a caller that's holding here for a couple of minutes. Good morning. Who's this? Hello. He hung up. Okay, well, now we'll do weather. Give us a call back. We'll be glad to talk with you. A new year coming up Monday, right around the corner. And the folks down at Tideline, the Tideline team there, they're all getting ready to reopen with some cool deals for 2024. Aloha pontoon boats, each with 3 tubes, a line of Lund fishing boats for anglers. They just love these boats. And several offshore and nearshore Aqua Sports Center console boats, all waiting for you when the doors open next Wednesday at 8:30. Word is that the winter speckled trout bite is pretty good these days. Waste no more time. Stock up on the lures that local professional guides use to keep their customers coming back. And if you have had all the trouble you can stand with your old outboards or boat trailers, those things don't last forever. Stop in and see what the deals that Todd, Elise, or George can offer you. They got a whole supply of American-made, American-powered outboard motors in there made by a company called Mercury. It's the only outboard motor manufacturer currently doing business in the United States of America that's made in the United States of America. Tideline Marine and Family, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Got a small craft advisory in again. In fact, goes into effect this afternoon through tomorrow morning. Offshore today, westerly winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming southwesterly 15 to 20 with gusts to 30 in the afternoon. Seas running 3 to 4 feet, building to 4 to 6 this afternoon. Dominant period 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers a light chop, becoming choppy this afternoon. Tomorrow, westerly winds 15 to 20 with gusts to 25. Seas 3 to 5. Dominant period 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers choppy. Now for the end of the weekend and to the beginning of the new year, it's more better. Westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas only 2 to 4 feet, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Monday, New Year's Day, westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming northerly 15 to 20 after midnight, seas 2 to 4 feet, sounds and rivers only a moderate chop.
Today, mostly sunny, but I think it's actually just going to be sunny. I'm happy. A high of 59, but gusty with gusts as high as 20 miles an hour today. Tonight, clear, cold, low of 34, and still gusty. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 51, getting a little chillier, with gusts as high as 18 miles an hour and sunny. Tomorrow night, clear, cold, low of 29.
Ouch.
And on Sunday, New Year's Eve, sunny, high of 55. And New Year's Eve night, I guess I said that right. It'll be mostly clear, but a low of 34. So it's going to be cold.
Okay, I got firewood.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to
Before
get me
we
some
go
more
any
too.
further, can we talk sports for a minute?
Yes, we got to talk sports for a minute.
Yes, we do have to. Okay. Jacksonville won
Yeah.
their game against Camp Lejeune
A
yesterday.
decisive victory.
84-47.
Yeah, I've read that it was in the first quarter they were trailing.
Yeah, they were trailing in the first quarter.
Wow.
Jacksonville was. White Oak was 63, Richlands 30, Swansboro 74, Southwest 55, Jacksonville 84, Lejeune 47, Northside 69, and Dixon 36. And today, Jacksonville will face Northside
Yeah.
at 4:30, and
gonna
our
be at White
Freedom
Oak.
97. 97.1 WSME team will be there.
Yeah, covering it live.
Covering it
if
live.
you can't go, I drove by White Oak yesterday about that
It
time.
was packed, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The
Yes.
parking lot was full.
Yes.
So,
And also this morning on Sports Talk with Chris Rayner, Jonathan Bird, who is the Vikings, White Oak High School Vikings football coach, will be his guest today. And they're going to be recapping the Vikings football season, plus talking about the basketball tournament that's ongoing right now.
yeah,
So
they'll probably take a look at what
Yes.
he's planning for this
Mhm.
coming next year. Now, still next year.
And you can always
Next
check
fall.
out the Freedom 97.1 WSME Facebook page, and it's got all that information on there.
Mhm.
Plus, you can go to the website that covers the radio station Sports Talk and our show.
Yeah, WSME971.com.
That's right.
That's worldwide, by the way.
That's right. Worldwide.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We're good.
How about President Biden jumping into the fight between New York and Texas? He has threatened to sue Texas if it moves forward with the new anti-illegal immigration law signed this month by Governor Greg Abbott.
Mhm.
The Republican governor says he is prepared to take the fight all the way to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So that ought to be a lot of fun.
Whatever.
It's going to be a mess. It's just going to be a big mess. What a way to
2024.
end 2023 and start 2024. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, deplorables. Happy New Year.
Happy
Well,
New
I've been
Year.
waiting for you.
What's going on?
You're back on the wall.
Of course I'm back. Kelly, what do you want to know, baby?
I want a whole lot of things.
Go ahead.
So I had asked, what's the difference between when we were talking about insurrection? What's the difference between Trump giving a speech at his little rally thing and other lawmakers giving speeches at rallies that led to riots? What is the difference?
That was a little rally. That's all you're calling it? 147 police officers getting hurt. That was a little rally.
I'm calling it was just a rally. But my
Okay,
point is, look at how many Black Lives Matter people.
Kelly,
What is the difference? I just want to know what the difference
I'll be
is.
very sensible about this. I'm not a lawyer. I haven't heard about insurrections. I wasn't familiar with them. Okay, I don't know what happened with Floyd. If there was an insurrection, they should have charged him for it. Okay, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the insurrection. The insurrection that happened with Trump is altogether different, right?
How? I want someone to explain what they perceive as the difference.
First of all, what happened that day, we all saw it. Okay? You all saw it. We saw it plenty of times. There are people that are lawyers, high-class lawyers, that came out and said the 14th Amendment, Section 3, says, and it opened up our eyes. We didn't know that. You didn't know that. I didn't know that. It opened up our eyes and said if a person who's trying to go for office, who was already in office, and he was an officer of the United States and was involved in an insurrection, does not qualify to run again. Period. That's it. There's no if he was found guilty or this or that. If he was involved in an insurrection, that was it. Now, you want to put him back on the ballot? Go right ahead. The people already voted. It was a 2020 election, and they voted him out. What's going to change now? You want to put him on there? Let me ask you something. Do you think it's fair that you're asking the voters to put a man like that on there with 4 investigations and 91 crimes, okay, that he's being charged for? You think their vote is going to count when they know that this guy could be indicted in a few months and he's not even going to put on the ballot? Do you think you're fair with these voters?
I'm not quite understanding the whole question, but again, a man has not been convicted of anything.
But he's on the 4 indictments. You want to put North Carolina voters to vote for a man who is going through investigation, 4 of them, okay, and say, well, good luck. He might be, and he might not. But if the Constitution says this man is not supposed to be on the ballot, your voters are going to say, why did you put him on there? He didn't qualify.
Well,
how are you being fair to your voters?
I don't think I can interpret that constitutional amendment that way. I don't know.
Put him on. Take your chances.
Go ahead.
I would rather he
Let
not
the people
run.
vote. And hope that he
Same.
doesn't get indicted with 4 investigations, serious investigations. Go ahead. If you think he's going to win through that and he's not going to be charged before November, go right ahead.
I would
No
rather he.
problem.
I
I got
would.
a problem with that.
I would rather he not run personally. I would rather Joe Biden not run personally, and I certainly don't want Kamala Harris to run.
Your people, if he gets indicted, are going to come and say, why did you have this man on there? He does not qualify according to the 14th Amendment, and he was involved in an insurrection. If he gets found guilty in the insurrection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you say, why did you put him on there?
Well-
are you going to explain why you did that?
Well, I don't have to. I don't have to explain anything. But
Well,
now
you know what I'm getting at?
Now, the other thing is, why would you want to remove the right of an individual who has not been convicted of a crime to take away one of his constitutional rights? And that would be to run for public office.
Put him on. Put him on. If that's how you feel, put him on. Let me just read something to you, okay?
Okay.
The Detroit News published a recording of a November 2010 phone call where Trump pressured Michigan Republican officials not to certify their county's election results. And underneath that, it says the RNC chair, Ronna McDaniel, was also on the call, pushing the officials to reject certification. Suppose the people voted, 7 million people voted for Biden. Suppose he loses the election now, he runs and loses with 1 million. We're going to have this whole thing over again? The whole thing is going to start all over again. But in this case, instead of having John Eastman and Giuliani, you're going to have the people from North Carolina who endorsed them, like Greg Murphy, Michael Chavis, and Ted Budd. They're going to be doing that, okay? Because when Trump says to them, jump, they're going to say, how high? Okay? Go ahead and put them on there and take your chances.
I haven't heard any of them say that yet.
I haven't heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
What I have heard is that he has a right, that he has a right to run.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
yeah.
Take your chances.
Now, Theo, I have a whole separate question for you.
Yes.
So when Dr. Rose called in the other day, we could not find where we wrote your question. So I
Kelly
got
and
the
I-
book right here.
Kelly and I tore the desk apart.
We did. Repeat your question you want us to ask her again.
Okay. She's a children's doctor.
Right.
And women are getting pregnant. And I was talking about Kate Cox from Texas, where the poor woman, I think the baby was dead or was not going to come out, and she had to travel all over the country to get an abortion. Why, as a doctor, what does she think about? I'd like to know her opinion on what do you think about this stuff going on? And there was another lady yesterday from Ohio almost died or something. So, now, it doesn't only affect women when this stuff happens. It also affects their husbands when they know that their wife is carrying a baby that's not going to make it. They're worrying about their wife's health. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want her to tell us what she thinks about what's going on around here.
Got it.
That's all.
I'm writing it now. Okay. I agree. That woman in Texas with they knew the
Yes.
baby was not going to survive.
All right, it could
Yeah.
affect her health
Exactly.
too.
Could
So.
affect her health. They should have
And you
allowed
know
her to
what?
have a
You know
abortion.
what? Greg Murphy was a doctor. And
He
decided
is a doctor.
To go to run for the House, okay, the United States House. Why didn't he stay and run over here? Like you were talking about mental stuff yesterday. He's a doctor. He could have done a lot if he stayed in this state and ran in this state and could have done a lot for the people here that have mental issues.
He
and
was in office. He was a North Carolina congressman, district
House of Representatives.
House of Representatives in North Carolina.
But look, Kelly, let me tell you something.
Tell me.
The Obamacare came out in 2014. The Republicans didn't take Medicaid till almost a year ago. Okay? Now, all these people, there was 200, 300, 400,000 North Carolinians that needed help for that mental you're talking about. They had no insurance to get to go in and help themselves. So now we got it, but that's 14 years. No, that's 10 years later. Can you imagine the damage you've done to these people?
Well,
and out of those 500 or 400,000, 25 were veterans. You let these veterans down.
I think.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'm a Medicaid provider. I take Medicaid. So,
Okay. So what are Republicans good for?
I don't know which question
What,
is.
no answer?
I don't understand the question, but
question.
What are
yeah,
Democrats good for, Thea?
Huh?
See, I could say what are Democrats good for, and
For
there's
everything. They do everything for the people. Everything for the people. Okay? That's what they do. They're all about people, not money. Where you guys are money and then people. It's always about the budget.
I need some money.
Well, if you don't have a budget, you're gonna collapse anyway. You have to have controlled spending,
And
no
you-
matter what.
and you know how many hospitals have closed because a lot of states didn't take the Medicaid, that we could have had that extra hospital. I don't know when that hospital went, Dixie Hospital went down, but it helps. The Medicaid helps the people and it helps the hospitals because there's a lot of expenses for these people. All right.
Okay, but let me say this: some of the Obamacare, the insurance, a lot, and I ran into this with clients that had what was called Obamacare insurance. They had such high deductibles. We're talking $8,000-$9,000 and until you meet your deductible, insurance doesn't pay one dime. So what was happening for therapy, for example, people were having I actually saw some people for free or for I charged them $5 because I knew they couldn't, they had not met their deductible. And I mean, they didn't realize when they got it. So Obama, I get it, but what good is having insurance if it's not going to pay for anything? You can't afford it.
Kelly, what we need is universal health care. When Pete comes on, I love the guy, but when he comes on, he confuses the crap out of me.
And I've learned a lot from him though. Like he knows this stuff. He's found
knows
some
this
good
stuff, but
plans.
He confuses me. You can do this, and you can do this, and if you have this, you can do this. And then, I said, "Holy Toledo!" I mean, I can't keep up.
Well, I have a brother that's on disability, and I changed his plan based on Peter's help to get him where he gets more benefits and stuff out of his Medicare. So, I mean, if anybody has questions, I would urge him to talk to Peter because he can find you a deal. Like my brother's premiums are now $4 a month versus like almost $50 he was paying. So that's helpful, especially someone on a fixed income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else are we talking about? Anything? Or we're done?
What are you doing for New Year's Eve?
Huh?
What are you doing for New Year's Eve?
Well, my wife makes the plans. She's going to surprise me.
Oh, very nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I like it.
Can we come over?
No, you can't come over.
Yeah, what's for dinner?
You're gonna ruin my New Year.
You'll mess it up.
No, you
thanks
know
a
you'd
lot,
love
Theo.
to have us.
So that's the story.
Okay.
You need to
All
call
right.
Robin, Theo. It's his birthday.
Yeah, today's Robin's birthday.
Today's Robin's birthday?
Yes.
Today's his
Oh, I
birthday.
wish I knew.
Yeah.
I would have played a song on there.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for it.
When's he
okay.
going to grow up, though, is what I want to know.
Robin will never grow up.
Okay.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Robin. We have many more.
Yeah. So,
All right, guys.
All right,
Theo,
thank
have
you,
a good
Theo.
day.
Happy New
I
Year.
hope I answered your question.
yes, and I wrote it on here. I'm going to ask Dr. Rose on
We have it
Wednesday.
now.
It's in the book. I know where
No,
it
the
is.
other question
Yes.
about
Okay.
the insurrection.
Oh, the insurrection? Kind of, sort of. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Well, that whole thing about insurrection is a kind of, sort of, you know?
It is. It's
Yeah.
it's just totally confusing until the Supreme Court can tell me whether this was an insurrection incident or not.
To
don't
me,
think
it was his failure to be a leader. That's what
Well,
I
that's
look at.
not illegal,
Yeah.
unfortunately. If it
A lot of
was,
people be charged
if it
with that
was, we
crime.
wouldn't have very many
Lord.
people in
Yeah.
elected
It's all the
offices.
Pinos we have.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started.
Okay, and yes,
All
a
right.
happy birthday to Robin Knapp, Commissioner Robin Knapp,
Happy birthday, Robin.
Yep.
the
today's his
other
birthday.
half of Kelly Knapp.
Yep.
So anyway,
Today's
happy
his
birthday, Robin.
So if y'all see him, tell him happy birthday.
Yeah, and then go ahead and spank him once or twice
Sing
too.
to him. He likes that.
What?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm being
Lord.
facetious.
Oh,
Jesus,
Yeah, he
fix
likes
this.
sing to him. He likes to be sung to.
all right. Hey, Timmy, can you do a round of happy birthday for us?
Yeah,
He can call Robin and do it. Go ahead and call him and
Just do
tell
it
him.
on the air.
yeah. I was just gonna do it. You know, poor thing. He finally made it up to my age. I mean, the
Uh-huh.
youngin. and he's 28 days younger than I am, and
Uh-huh.
he's got more hair than I've got. And we're not going to talk about the height wise. We're just going to leave that alone. I told him I would never pick on him about that again, and I don't. I just call him.
I think you just did.
I like his own time.
And that's, I like picking, and he liked that because after I explained it to him what it meant, he actually liked the Asian Cajun.
Yeah.
So but happy birthday to Robin.
Yep. Today's his
There you
birthday.
go.
Bless his heart.
Yep.
I mean, I can't do the happy birthday baby because I'm not that kind.
No.
That's fine.
Happy birthday to him.
That's fine.
But now I wanted to wish you to have. And as far as insurrection goes, I just call it a MUBAR. MUBAR. You
Fubar.
can't say
Moo.
MUBAR. Yeah, MUBAR. Well, it's like
MUBAR.
FUBAR, but we just say MUBAR.
Oh, okay. I
Messed up
gotcha.
beyond all recognition.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that on the air.
Mhm.
But no,
Yeah.
I don't get into that. They let them do what they're going to do. I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, what some of these states are trying to do.
I agree. I think they're afraid. And I'm not even for Trump.
Well,
And I
I
think
know.
they're afraid.
Well,
Well,
I'm
you
not
notice-
I'm not a big Trump.
I'm not a Trump fan at all.
either.
Mm-mm.
Well, you notice the
If
ones
it
doing
comes
it
down
are
between
blue.
him and Biden, I'm gonna vote for him. It's just like I was talking to somebody about the county commissioners. Y'all posted up the county commissioners, and somebody asked, "Did you see the list?" I said, "Yeah, I did." So what do you think about it? I said, "I picked 3,"
Mm-hmm.
and they said 3. Well, you can pick 4. I said, "I picked 3."
Yeah.
And they just looked at it. I said, "I don't have to pick any if I don't want to."
That's right.
That's true. You don't
I
have
said,
to
"But
pick
I
4.
said, I've got 3 in my mind right now. I said, and that's it. And I said, as far as the school board, I have no clue. I don't keep up with it.
Well, we got a couple of months to get educated about that.
That's right.
Exactly. And that's, and I use y'all for that. I really do. I use all 3 of y'all on stuff, on those kind of matters. I'm not going to sit in and read up on them. I'm going to listen, and I'll make my decision when voting time comes about the school board. Right now, I don't know.
Well, in some
I
cases,
don't keep up with it, and that's my fault.
for the newcomers, I don't know that much about them. I will be learning
Right.
because we do have one vacancy for sure.
Mhm.
And then for those that I know, I don't have to do a whole lot of studying, but for those that are running for reelection that I know, I probably want to do a lot of studying about
Yeah. Call Kelly and me. We'll fill you in.
past
Well,
stuff.
Well, you
Right.
won't believe how true you just said that, Lou.
Right.
I mean, because I really don't, and it's my fault. I probably shouldn't be that way, but I don't keep up with the school board as much as maybe I should.
It's kind of hard to do it.
But I keep up with, and I keep up with my county commissioners, because they are my front. They manage the government,
Sure.
my county government. And that's what I look to.
Okay.
It's just like my senators and my Congress. I manage them more than I do the president because they actually help me out more than anybody else.
Yep. I understand.
True.
But yeah, I just want to say, but happy birthday, Robin. I wanted to say that on the air.
I'm sure he's
He
listening.
finally caught up with me, and
We're
I
way
will.
late.
Y'all have a great weekend.
You too.
Tim. Bye.
Bye, Tim.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
Happy
to
New
y'all.
Year.
Thank
and
you.
I'm feeling a whole lot better. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank God. You sound better.
He does sound a whole lot
Got
better.
his spark back.
I know, man. If I can just get rid of this sinus mess,
Yeah.
that's the only thing left.
I got you.
I will talk to y'all
See you
later.
later.
See you next year. You're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance.
Hurricane season is here, and if you're not prepared, now's the time to visit Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Moorhead Plaza in Moorhead City. Whether for the contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Williams Hardware has the tools and accessories to help protect against high winds and water. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies. Williams Hardware, your helpful, handy hardware store, also cuts glass to size and cuts and threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington Grill for Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Moorhead Plaza in Moorhead City. Williams Hardware is open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158, and be prepared this hurricane season.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available, and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want to paint maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
I had a question about my insurance the other day, so I called my new State Farm agent. And would you believe I talked to the same person who remembered my name? They said that was called service. And then they asked if my dog Max was over his cold. They called that service too. And then they helped me find ways to save on my home and auto coverage. I asked State Farm what they called that. They said service.
Call David Hall, State Farm, 910-455-0440, 1218 Country Club Road, Jacksonville. Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only comprehensive protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand, forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech, luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. It's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2022 in the flooring, covering, and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering. They're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering. You stand on it, we stand behind it.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in the heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement, parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back live and local Real Talk, and I've got a phone call here, but we also got I'll have to call him back in a minute. But we've also got Robin Knapp, Commissioner Knapp. Happy birthday, bub.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I heard some of the comments, and I'm kind of humbled. And Timmy, thank you very much. I am your Asian Cajun. I love the name.
AC.
It just kind of seems weird to be called an Asian Cajun, but it goes well together. But I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you to Kelly for the post. I love you, and I just feel I finally caught up with Timmy. That's for sure. But I'm only 28 days behind him. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a good one, sir. Happy New Year to you. And Kelly will take you out and celebrate tonight, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man.
All right.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Happy New Year. Okay. Yeah, that was a friend of mine, coworker from many years ago. I'll have to give him a call back.
Yeah.
He knows
I
I'm
saw
on the
that
air
name
until 9.
pop
Don't
up.
you, Bob? I
Well,
think
he
you
knows now.
He
He's like,
should be
"Oh,
listening.
He's still on air.
Let's see.
I've got something real quick.
Yeah, what if we got go ahead.
Bring this.
Yesterday, I was watching Channel 7, watching Wheel of Fortune with my mama. And there was this amazing commercial. And I just think, I don't know why I'm so tickled by this, but I just am. And it was a commercial for WITN.
A promotion.
Yeah.
Promotion.
Yes. Thank you. Promotion. Yes. And they had talked about something that Lee and I have brought up on the show here. And they were saying how, WITN is fair and unbiased. They vet their guests and they vet all their stories and get just the facts.
Both sides.
On both sides.
That's
They
right.
said they check their sources before they run with the story. They don't present biased opinions, etc. They were, and that's why they're like, that's why we're the best newscast around here, blah, blah, blah. And it brought up what Lee and I were talking about with another channel here. I'll say it, Channel 12, with their biased reporting towards this whole school board fiasco mess. And I feel like that's what Channel 7 was targeting. And I know news groups, they're rivals with each other. But I think this was like, I just fell out laughing. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've seen.
Well,
in a
the
while.
Daily News, when they were reporting stories
Mm-hmm.
about the school board meetings, they were reporting facts.
They got attacked.
And their news reporter got attacked bad by this group of people. And because this group of people are upset that the news organizations aren't exclusively posting and reporting what their side
But
is.
that's not what they're supposed to do. They're
That's right.
supposed to be
I know that,
unbiased.
but if you're being in the news, having been in the news for so long, you get attacked by. Well, I always said if I got attacked by both sides of a story, I did my job.
Yeah, but
That's right.
but they're only being attacked by one side. But it's gotten, I think,
Well,
criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not criminal. 'cause-
Well, I just think it was no reason to attack the Daily News reporter.
Mm-mm.
She's doing her job.
She
Yep.
was doing her job.
Yeah, so yeah, they if they want they want the limelight and they don't want both sides of a story covered.
Right.
That happens in politics
Right.
every day. It happens with organizations, government organizations. If you, I mean, look at what was that guy's name? Nixon's hit list.
Right.
A lot of media was on that hit list.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching some of the media interviews with that group of people, and to me, the news person was more or less leading them into.
Well, they were given some talking points.
Yeah, or they were just saying,
Here's some questions to ask us.
It was very
Yes.
biased.
It was very
Yeah,
biased,
it
I
was-
thought.
In my opinion, it was very biased.
In fact, I was like, I tell you, I grew up watching a certain news channel, and now I very seldom watch it.
Same.
Over the last year, it's gotten
Yep.
so
Nope,
horrible.
not
I
watching it.
watch another one now.
Hey, we got an audience.
Hey,
Jake.
Jake, show.
Rayford, we need to put up like a board back here on the latest Russian deaths. There's been another one in the Putin cabinet. What was this guy's title? He was found dead Wednesday after falling from the third floor of his house.
Whoops.
He was a member of his ruling United Russia Party, whatever that is. He plunged 30 feet. They don't know how. But he's the
Gravity took
latest.
over.
He's only 46.
Mhm.
So it's another Putin person dead mysteriously.
Mhm.
So
It happens.
we need to put just like a board up to see, if I were these
Definitely-
people, I wouldn't want to
definitely-
work with him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, they don't work with it. They
He must have
were
ticked
working
them off.
against him. And
Yes,
then
that's why I think something must have happened. Yeah.
okay, you guys go out and have a great
Yes.
weekend.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, it's going to be okay.
It'll be fair.
Not any
It's gonna be
rain.
sunny.
Yes, it's going to have some wind for a couple of days, today
Chilly.
and tomorrow.
Mhm.
It's going to be cool.
Yep.
Well, it's about time we got cold at nighttime for a little while.
Oh, I agree.
And I think by Tuesday we ought to be hot again. But
I think the temperatures are going to hold out in the mid 50s for the next couple weeks.
It's gonna be
From
cold
what
at
I saw
night.
long term, but weather can change.
And look, guys, for those of you that are going to be out celebrating New Year's Eve,
please don't
Sunday
drink and
night,
drive.
please do not drink and
Don't.
drive. There's Uber, there's
Mhm.
taxis, there's friends, drink at home, whatever you need to do.
Yep.
Just please do not drink and drive. And if you are out driving and you're not drinking, just be mindful of those
Yes.
that are out
Mhm.
driving, and be mindful of deer and just
saw another
people in
dead one
general.
yesterday right down
Yeah.
here on Piney Green Road.
Yeah, so just be mindful.
Yeah,
We
lost
want
a very
everybody to
good
stay
friend
safe.
To a drunk driver.
Yeah, just want everybody to be safe.
It's
And I
hurt.
lost a very good friend to a deer.
Yeah.
That's
Who went
sad.
through the windshield.
Yeah,
Was the deer drunk too?
Don't know.
that's sad.
But he jumped
Yeah.
into the windshield, and the guy
That's
ran off the
horrible.
road, hit a tree.
Oh, it's so hard.
I will say real quick, I saw the coolest video. It's on my personal page. I'll try to post it to a show page of a drone captured a moose shedding its antlers.
Oh, really?
This was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I'll
It's
have
a
to find
real
it. I'll
thing.
take a
I'm
look
going to
at it.
post it on the show page.
Okay.
I've watched that thing like
Don't
10
forget,
times.
Sports Talk is
Sports
next.
Talk is
Yes.
coming up right after the Fox News break. And then, of course, after Sports Talk, we got another dose of the Daily D's, the last time this year. And then at 3 o'clock, it's going to be Hollywood.
Yes.
And at 4:15, there'll be a
Pregame.
pregame show. And Hollywood and Company will be out there
Yeah.
doing pregame show for Lejeune versus Northside. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME. We're going to be gone Monday, but we'll be back on Tuesday with a vengeance. Have a great weekend, and please stay safe.
SME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. The Trump campaign is promising a quick appeal of Maine's Secretary of State's decision to remove